Hello everyone, welcome back to Sim Racing GP. It's Alex and Paul with you once again for the halfway point of Sim Racing GP Intel Rivals. Paul, good to have you back, mate. And a bit of a different challenge for the drivers and the communities tonight, eh?
Yeah, very much so. Good to be here. Thank you, Alex. Really looking forward to this one. Out of all the 3 rounds, this is the one I'm most intrigued by, especially with this cracking mod and also the track as well. I think could be challenging. I have driven the original mod, so you know, those that are new to it may find this car a little bit tricky this evening.
Yeah, we're jumping from what we had last time, which was Race Room, and the Aquila CR1 GT Sports Car. Now we go to the Mad Formula Student Cars around the Grand Prix karting mod here on Assetto Corsa of a circuit that was recently hosting a Formula 1 Grand Prix, Suzuka. So konnichiwa, as they say over in Japan. But this is the halfway point. We've got another round to go, and that's this coming Friday. Okay, folks, so 29th of September, this coming Friday. It's going to be the last chance that these communities have an opportunity to go for the top prize. Big thank you to Intel UK for getting on board with us here. Of course, you know, their line of processors, of course, the Intel Arc, one of them. But you know what? Let's take a look back at what happened last Friday. The battle that we had. Mateusz Bogus from SGP Racing and Glenady doing the old rear gunner defense like a good and the Crack Racing driver. And Crack Racing are now leading the community standings that are on 174 points. But you know what? For like 10, 12 minutes, I think we both nearly ran out of breath by the time they hit the checkered.
Yeah, great bit of driving there from Glenady. Great defence, as you say, last 10 minutes of the race, the gap came down and he was feeling the pressure. But he held stern. He was really good. I was really impressed with his driving. And as I said last time out, you know, I raced with him when he first came on the scene, and he's got some natural pace, but it's another thing being able to put up a defence like that.
So there you see, leading community, Crack Racing with 174 points. So, of course, Glenady Dionysus and then also Jamie Nuttall, who finished 8th. So that gave him a maximum whack of 174 points. Mateusz Bogus from SGP Racing did a really good job. Just kept Glenady on his toes. Reska Kyoso also doing a good job. He rounded out the top 3. David Ohak from Remnant Racing helping out there, to be completely honest with you. So... but his teammate James Hallam actually ended up towards the back end of the field. I think, if I remember correctly, 20th place. So what we're now going to do, folks, after the look at the points, we're now going to go underway with qualifying. And here we are in the miniature version. It's like everyone's just decided to shrunk Suzuka and make it a big part of the Smurfs cartoon or something like that here, Paul.
Oh yeah, these modded tracks are absolutely great, because you've got to think, right, these Formula Student cars they're great, they've got a lot of aero, but they're not necessarily as fast as your F1s. And so a track like Spa, Suzuka, with its long straights, you know, will feel like an age. So they've created miniature versions. And this is a recent updated version of this track as well. I think the feedback from racers previously is it's just a little bit too easy to cut the track. So they've added in a couple of sausage curbs to make things a little bit more challenging. But I also believe they've made some changes to some of the trees as well, just to make things look a little bit more realistic. Oh, there's contact there.
Well, Nathan Maximin actually went off on his own. I wonder who that was having It's a Rainy Day in Scarborough on the back rear wing, because you could actually... Dan Hyde nearly gets taken out there going through the S complex on the run towards Dunlop, and I think that is along with him. That's going to be Ben Brown. Very much a livery, if it had a bit of, oh dearie me, through the Degners and nearly takes out Ben at the same time as Dan Hyde. Gabriel Costas, one of the Formula Student drivers, who've due to have a Cadillac Crafter as well, if I remember correctly, who's currently running at P2. So I would imagine that the Formula Student team might have a little bit of advantage on the rest of the opposition, even though it is a sim.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, I was talking with some of the drivers prior to this race as well, and I think a lot of them race GT3 cars or GT4s in some cases as well. And as we all know, those type of cars don't quite have the same level of aero as a Formula 1 or even a Formula Student car. So it's unusual for them to kind of keep their foot in. So some of them are going to have to very quickly adjust to this style of racing. I don't know about you, Alex, but I was saying to the guys that if I switch from Assetto Corsa Competizione and then move into one of the F1 games, it really takes me a bit of time to adjust to the level of grip and downforce that you've got. And I know that some of the drivers were looking at their gearing and things like that, and just trying to take tips from the faster guys going on, because I mean, even at the moment the spread actually not too bad, but it's about just having confidence that the aero is going to keep that car stuck to the track.
And also keeping it on the track, more to the point as well, because we've just seen quite a few offs. I think also Albert Georgi, who's running 7th in this qualifying session, he's currently in pit lane, so return to garage. There's Ben Brown, Coming down the back stretch into the miniaturised version of 130R, and probably at least well under half the speed, but still some nice noises that we get as he bumps over the curbing, especially the sausage curbs coming out of the Casio triangle. Ben Brown currently 9th at the moment. Doesn't improve, but, well, Team 87 playing the flag at the moment, sharp end of the field. Nathan first, Dan Terry, the man, the myth, the legend, as someone in front of David Oak has gone off and spanked the barriers on the right-hand side. They're running first and 8th at the moment, so this could give an opportunity for Team 87 maybe to get up the order. Looking back at their previous results, I mean, Nathan was 7th, Dan was 14th, but they seem to have put in a little bit more practice for this round of SGP rivals with Intel.
Yeah, as I say, I think Dan's got previous of racing this mod as well, so that will go to give him a little bit of advantage, even though this is a newer version of the mod that was released earlier this year. Because the previous car had, I believe, 8 fans on the rear. This one's only got the 1, so that's allowing the car to kind of be sucked towards the track. But it's also 10% lighter than the previous car as well. I'd also like to just point out that if you haven't noticed, the pits are on the different side compared to the real Suzuka as well. So here it's on the left, where they actually should be on the right. As you go into the final corner, that's normally where the pit entry is. So whilst the track layout is the same, the pit entry is in a completely different place, as we see David O'Hag just sort of losing the rear end. And also there is a pit stop for this evening as well, Alex, so the drivers will need to factor that in with their strategy this evening.
Yeah, so of course, well, we see quite a few drivers. There's Cadillac Crafter. Was he trying? He was trying to do an Alonso there. He nearly did through 130R. I don't know who that was. He literally flew past like the other person was standing still. Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's normally the left-hand side of a karting circuit. Now, of course, this is the GPK, the Grand Prix karting version of it. Karting circuits normally have their pits on the left-hand side on the start-finish straight. So in some respects, that's pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, with regards to the pit stops, there's going to be a window of opportunity as Cadillac Crafter goes a little bit wide through out of Degner 1. Thank goodness he didn't go backwards like Heikki Kovalainen did for McLaren a few years back and mounted the rear axle on it. But, I mean, it's really cool to see, you know, like I've seen a lot of mods since having started doing sim racing commentary. You know, AC is one of the bigger platforms whereby modding is part and parcel of it. It's just really cool to see that someone can have the idea, right, let's compress Suzuka so you can get around it in about 1:03, 1:05, and we're going to stick these Formula Student cars on that have got these whopping rear wings like nobody's business. It's like, who needs a halo? You've got a roll hoop and you've got a big back wing on it.
Yeah, it's a great looking car. For those who don't realise, this is a real car as well. This is why it's become a mod. And for those that are out on the track as well, I would, if they haven't practiced pit stops, I would. And I was talking to Gareth Ronda, who's coming in P16 at present, and he was saying that he prefers the pitting in this because you can go into the pit box at any angle, as where Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is the second release game by Kunos, you have to hit the marks correct, otherwise you're going to delay your pit stop. So going to be interesting to see how that plays out this evening. And whilst these cars are fast, they are twitchy because it is a track a karting version of the real Suzuka. It's not as wide as a real Suzuka, so I am expecting some contact. I'll be lying if I said I don't think there will be carnage. I think at times there will be a little bit of carnage because these things are twitchy. Yeah, I'd expect the first couple of laps, maybe first few corners, we might have some entertainment. I know that the damage has been reduced a little bit as well, just to take that into account for tonight.
So that might be the case of the fact you might see a little bit of bodywork flying here. One thing that I like about this mod of the Mad Formula Student cars is it kind of reminds me of the old Brabham BT 42, the old fan car back in the day. When
yes.
It did a couple of races. Nicky Lauda won with it. Bernie Eccleston was the team principal. Gordon Murray was the designer, and then it promptly got banned. So it's got that air of old school Brabham F1 tech on a classy little mod here on AC. So Really, really good. Nathan Maximin still leading the way by about half a second ahead of Cadillac Crafter. Glenady Dionysus is currently third at the minute.
Going well.
Comes across the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13th. Moritz Hiccup, currently sitting 14th ahead of Julian Stresser. Rounding out the 19 that we've got showing up on our timing. Gareth Ronda, Dan Hyde, Tim Bob, and Lucien Ephraim. 19 cars. Daniel Lusko having a bit of a moment. That was probably Dan Hyde going a bit sideways as well, I think, going through the Snake Complex. But that concludes qualifying. So Team 87 get a pole position courtesy of Nathan Maximin. Then we've got Cadillac Crafter. He's one of the Formula Student drivers. He's second. Glenady Dionysus, who is leading the driver standings in SGP Rivals with Intel, is third. Well, they're going to be at each other's doors again. Well, at each other's rear wings again, because Mateus Bogas from SGP Racing is right alongside him. So this is it's looking to be a good one. We've got David Ohak, Jamie Nuttall rounding out the top 6, Gabriel Costas, Albert Georgi, Dan Terry, and Ben Brown rounding out the top 10. So Dan Terry having a lot more fun and a lot more pace in this round of SGP Rivals with Intel. Don't forget, if you haven't already followed us on social media, you can head over to just type in Sim Racing GP. You'll find us easy enough. Also, if you haven't liked follow the Twitch channel here, why not do that? It might be a little button click on the mouse to you, but it means a lot to us. So we are about to get underway for round 2 of SGP Rivals with Intel. It's going to be a very, very good one here around this circuit, which normally is a lot bigger, but we are going to be getting around these laps with just under a minute 5. So it will be a standing start. Watch these things rocket off the line here at the Grand Prix karting variation of the Suzuka International Racing Course. Picture in picture, there's Dan Terry starting on the outside of row number 4, 8th place. Revs are building, engines are being blipped. Now the revs build, and round 2, SGP Rivals with Intel gets underway. Good start by the front end of the field. Nathan Maximin cuts across the front of Killian Crafter as they head into first corner. 2-3 wide at the back end of the field. Dan Terry right with, looks to be Ben Brown. There's a little bit of drama in the mid-pack already as they head through the Snake Complex. Dan Terry up a position, up to 7.
Two positions. Yeah.
There's a car right behind him.
Yeah.
That's Costas that's went round. And did you said about carnage? We had chaos.
Yeah, we definitely.
Yeah. Oh, dearie me. And Ben Brown right at the back end of the field. I thought that was him being turned around. Dan's up to 6.
Yeah, looks like there's contact again though with looked like Dan might have been involved in contacts with David Ohak there, and lovely liveried coming in P4.
Yeah, Mateusz Bogas actually has dropped down to 7th. Gareth Ronda up from 16th as David Ohak tries to go around the outside of Glenady Dionysus. All I'm going to say is Glenady's going to make that Formula Student car as wide as humanly possible. Remember last time out at Portimao in the CR1 Sport GT cars? Well, Mateusz Bogas will be able to tell you that little ditty. Ohak runs a little bit wide but carries the momentum through. Dan Terry looking around the outside of Jamie Nuttall. Is he going to get through? Oh, he's mounted the curb to do so. And he gets a little bit trigger happy on the loud pedal. Lucien Ephraim has had a better turn of speed. Dan Hyde gets through on Gabriel Costas.
There's a move being made in the background there, and a little bit of contact, and one of the cars is off. I didn't quite catch who that. It's Gabriel Costas. There we go. And yeah, like I said, these things are twitchy, right? And when you're in close proximity with each other, it can be quite hard to avoid making contact.
Yeah, Albert Georgi battling away. Dan Terry drops to 7th position. In the meantime, Nathan Maximin has pulled away from Cadillac Crafter to the tune of 1.5 seconds. Oh, that's Lucien Ephraim. And he's absolutely been swallowed up by the rest of the pack. 5 of them swarming past him around the outside in towards... I mean, I can't even keep up with what corner they are. That spoon curve. We run on board with Tim Bob in the Intel Arc car.
He's passing up of the race as
all
well.
3 wide 21 into 130R in Tim Bob's round.
Oh,
Oh, you said these things were twitchy. That's the biggest understatement on commentary I've ever heard this year, Mr. Glover.
yeah, and you can already see the tire marks, right? You can see people are having a little small doesn't even make sense. Small lockups from time to time as well, and it's just about trying to reduce because in the game you can obviously change the brake power on the pedal, and that's what I normally do in these things, just to try and, because they are hard to get the braking right. The power down, also could be a little bit challenging, but for me it's about try and not brake, try and not lock up to carry as much speed as possible, because these things have got great aerodynamics to keep you planted.
Yeah, 21 degrees air temperature, 28 degrees track temp, as David Ohack again. He's just launching that car over the sausage curves through the Casio triangle. He's going to lose a lot of momentum out of that. Dionysus sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 4. Well, that was he just set a 1 minute 4 something.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Now the thing is when we see purple lap times and the timing on the right-hand side of the timing tower, on the left-hand side of your screens, that is the driver's personal best, not necessarily the fastest lap of the race, because Nathan Maximin has done that. It's a 1 minute 4.063. There's the other car, Mateusz Bogus from Formula GT Racing League. He is trying to catch up with Jamie Nuttall. That's the battle for 5th place. There's David Ohack trying to close in again on Glenady Dionysus. Cadillac Crafter now has lost, after nearly 4 laps, 2.6 seconds to Nathan Maximin, who an absolute flyer off the start. A lot of the field, as we know, you said about these cars being twitchy. Well, if you look back to the start of the race, pretty much everyone past row 1 had good old wheel spin off the line.
Yeah, they did, and Crafter there just setting a personal best for him down into the 104s as well, and that gap's come down ever so slightly. We'll keep an eye on that. Dan Terry and Cayoso, Gregory as well setting personal best, but Dan Terry's back down to P9, so after a great start in the first couple of laps, he's fallen back to his starting position from the grid. We've obviously missed what's happened there as David O'Hack just pushes that a little bit wide into the second Degner. So some great driving up the front, and these guys are managing now. I think that you can see the guys at the back are just starting to get a handle on this car. It takes a bit of practice to get this thing right, but once you find a groove, you can have some really good fun in this car. So yeah, great little. If people watching have never tried this mod, I highly recommend it. It's a great bit of fun. As you can see there, Daniel Hyde locking up, and again, just proving what I've already said. It's so easy to lock up this thing if you haven't tuned your braking and your setup to where you need it.
Flames shooting for the exhaust pipes of Jamie Nuttall and Mateusz Bogus's car. Mateusz pulls to the left-hand side. Is he going to go round past him through the first corner? Nuttall keeps the inside line. Remains in 5th, now into the Snake Complex. So Mateusz gives him a little bit of a cheeky tap from behind.
He's round.
That is Nuttall. He spun it around. I'm not too sure if there was a little bit of secondary contact.
I think there was contact in that one, Alex. Unfortunately, I think Jamie will be spitting feathers a little bit.
Well, Dan Hyde better watch his 6, because Gabriel Costas is not too far behind in one of the 2 Formula Student drivers. The other one currently, Cadillac Crafter, in 2nd position. That's going to be a good solid amount of points for him and also for the team. But if Gabriel stays where he is, that'll be 22 points based on the scoring system we've got here on SGP Rivals with Intel. But it's been rather entertaining. Oh dear, who was that? Someone spun it.
I think that might cost us. They might be cost us, I think. Been currently down in P16. So, but yeah, I'm just looking at, because we've got a track map on that's been kindly provided by Mike Yao, who's doing the broadcast for us today, and I can see that the race leader is catching P19, so it's going to become a little bit more challenging for the race leader, and the challenging pack aren't that far behind really. I know it's 4.5 seconds, but that's not a great distance, so we've still got the pit stops to come as well, Alex, in this race.
So what's the pit window for these drivers here on the Mad Formula Student cars?
I think they can pit any time they want. There isn't a pit window. I don't think that exists in Assetto Corsa. So they can pit whenever they want, but we do know.
Oh dearie me, that was Mr. Hiccup having a bit of a 180.
Mr. Hiccup having a hiccup. You didn't want to go for that,
no,
no?
no, I didn't want to go for that. I don't know, but I mean, I mean, the thing is that I could wax lyrical about that by saying yes, he's had a hiccup, but we've had more spins than I can shake a stick at, to be honest with you. But it's just entertaining just watching people just try and give it the berries.
Keep it on the track. I mean, I'm not being. I said to them after 30 minutes of these things, you are going to be sweating, right? Because they are challenging. Depends, and you know, again, they could tweak their force feedback settings and everything else. But these things are fun. They are fun. They make you work, but they are fun. And I think it's a great mod. And I was just about to say, testing apparently suggests that you can't complete the race distance without pit stopping. I don't know to what degree or when we can expect the cars to come in. Maybe towards the latter stages of the race.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing. Dan Terry has lost the pace to Jamie Nuttall. As for P8, there is Dan. I think he's just rejoined from.
Oh, now he's down to P10. Oh, he's battling for P9, P10. So, yeah, side-by-side action. Who's gonna break the latest?
Yeah, I think knowing Dan, he'll probably try and do it himself and then have a hiccup in his own right, a bit like Moritz did earlier on. But Glendy Dionysus closing in. Oh, that gap has come down significantly between second and third. He's about 6/10 behind, so Glendidy's now having the opportunity of not worrying about battling for the race lead, but now he's got a chance to show his racecraft when he attacks Cadillac Crafter as they go into the two Degners. Glendidy's got a real... Oh, that's a great turn of momentum there through for the two Degners into the hairpin. Turns in a little bit later, but neatly kisses the apex, and now that gap's down to under 4/10. Last lap, Glendy is best lap so far a 1 minute 4.8, but he's just constantly just going like.
I think he's just stuck. I think he's just stuck behind him. It's hard. Again, it's hard to get it's hard to overtake in these without taking a kind of risky move unless the driver ahead is that much slower. And I think these guys are kind of similar pace at the moment. So because Cadillac Crafter's done the fastest he's done is he's just done it 104 not 104.4. So yeah, clearly got pace. So this is where the pit stops could really kind of change everything for the battle for P2.
Nuttall yeeted it over the curves of the Casio triangle, trying to close on to Resca Kyoso, and the gap between them is about 3.5 tenths of a second as they come out of first corner. Oh, wobble and a half there. It was like the tail was wagging.
Oh, and again.
Back of a dog. Resca's now got Jamie Nuttall swabbing all over the back of him, and he's trying to get him through the inside of Dunlop into the Degners. Nuttall's going to keep it to the outside. Oh, that's brave. Oh. And he's got him, Jamie Nuttall, with a move of the night.
Oh, brilliant bit of drive in there. But that takes two to make that work, right? Kyoso nicely gave him the room, and he didn't run out too wide where he was on the grass either, Jamie Nuttall. So, yeah, great overtaking move as we switch back now to... Still, the battle goes on. It's like a repeat of last time, but this time Glendy's trying to chase somebody down, right? Little bit reversed last time round, but great for cracked racing, really, for Glendy. If you can stay in this position, they'll haul another great amount of points.
Well, yeah, and especially with the fact that Jamie was 8th last time, Glendy won the race, so... You know, that's probably going to net them at least 150, 160 points, give or take. So Glendy, that's 98 for him. Jamie, that is 66. So yeah, that's 154 points. So if it was to finish it like it is now, 154 points plus 174, that's 328 points after 2 rounds. It's pretty good going.
Well, yeah, it'd be hard to catch them, to be honest, wouldn't it? If they both finished in the top 10. In the final round, so yeah, it's like the miniature version of the Red Bull winning the Constructors' Championship, isn't it? So
yeah, very true. For those wondering what is the third and final round, well, that's going to be this Friday, 29th of September, whereby we'll crown our SGP rivals with Intel champions. As David Ohak has just come into pit lane, first one to do that on lap number 12. Bang.
No. Yeah. So I haven't seen a Assetto Corsa pit stop in a long time, and away he goes, splash and dash. No tyre change.
Ooh,
tyres should last, apparently. So, but this battle for P2. So, oh, no, it's contact! And,
He
oh,
touched the right rear of Cadillac, and then Cadillac just had the biggest tank slapper known to man. Collected Glenady, who still kept it on the black stuff. Oh dearie me. I think the tiredness is starting to set in with that kind of drama there, really, to be honest with you. Because as you said, with the force feedback, you know, smaller cars on a smaller variation of Suzuka. Ben Brown, in the meantime, chasing down Julian Strasser for P10. Ben last time was 9th at Portimao on Race Room when we were running the Aquila CR1 Sports GT cars. But Ben just trying to go for it. He's going to get him. He's looking up the inside late brakes. Julian Strasser has a big old wobble, opens up both barn doors through Spoon Curve, and Ben Brown says, "Thank you very much. That's 10th. Nicely done."
yeah, great, nicely made move there from Mr. Ben Brown. Being, again, a little bit of a lock up there into the final chicane. I mean, you've got to give it off, give your hats off to this, to the modders here for this track, right? Great little karting layout of Suzuka. There are others. I've driven Spa. I know there are others out there as well. Spa is really good fun. Highly recommend that. You know, just like the real life circuit. So, yeah, Julian Strasser there just loses it a little bit in the background, so that gap's opened up a little bit more, and it's so easy to do that in this car. And getting past the back marker there, Mr. Ben Brown. Back marker does a good job, like they did in the previous round as well, didn't they? They were very well behaved.
Yeah, and they'll have to be even more well behaved when each community team on Friday night on ACC, and it's going to be at the fastest race circuit will be on over the 3 rounds, the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, the Temple of Speed. And each team, one driver has to go in a GT3, the other one in a GT4. And after that, we'll decide. Oh no! Georgi spins it into the wall. Big old tank slapper. And he's even done a Valtteri Bottas and mowed the grass. No invoice from Jonathan Palmer on that one.
No, indeed. And our race leader has opened up an 11-second gap.
Wow.
Unbelievable bit of racing. It comes in to complete the mandatory pit stop.
So, Team 87 leading the way, but very soon we are going to see Glendy Dionysus take the race lead unless he decides to pit. Well, that gap is just under 9.7 seconds. He's just gone across the line. He'll now take the race lead as Maximin in the pits. Mateus Bogus now takes 2nd place. The Formula GT Racing League car. There is Albert Georgi, who, after having his code brown through the Snake Complex on one lap, has just gone through.
Maximin also into the pits, which promotes Jamie Nuttall up into P4.
Now the big question is, has Maximin come out of the pit lane? I would imagine the answer might be a resounding yes on that one, because the gap between him and Jamie Nuttall is stabilising at around about 2 seconds, and there is Nathan making his way through the exit of the second Degners in towards turn 10 and now at turn 11 at the hairpin. Look at all the black marks from all the rubber that's been laid down through lockups into turn 11 at the hairpin. Nathan,
I told you.
Yeah, you were right. Nathan making his way through into Spoon Curve out of 200R and then down the back stretch. Now, I mean, the thing is, even though these cars don't go very fast, they look pretty fast on this very, very reduced in size Suzuka circuit. Again, Casio Triangle. I think the person that we've seen do the most lockups whilst eating over the sausage curves is Ben Brown. Through there, he's just like, literally gone, yeah, I'm going to send it. Right, who's in the pits now? Georgi in the pits now from 6th place, so that'll promote the likes of Kyozo, Terry, there's Maximin. Getting past one of the back markers. There's Glendy Dionysus, still out and also holds the race lead by about 2.2 seconds. He makes his way out of the hairpin, but that's a pretty good job from him. Dan Terry from Team 87 jumps into pit lane on lap 15, so dropping probably just outside of the top 10 for a few moments whilst we wait for the pit cycle to happen.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, Glenady losing a little bit of time to P2 there, and that's coming down ever ever so slightly. But as I say, none of these drivers are going to, I'd imagine, are taking any tyres. You're just going to lose too much time if you take that decision tonight. There really isn't much point in taking this. We're on board with Nathan Maximum, who's trying to make a move on Jamie Nuttall. Jamie not yet pitted for his fuel stop, but Nathan trying to gain P4 and have a little look into T1, T2. I love the fact that it's just a miniature version of Suzuka. I think it's just great, absolutely brilliant. And as I keep saying, it's a great mod as well. And it just shows you, if you've got two drivers who know what they're doing, you can really race these things.
Yeah, Maximin looking up the inside through into the first Egner. No, you ain't going to get through there. Picto Matto going, what did I just walk into? These are hilarious and awesome all at the same time. We concur with that, with you on that front. A little bit of a wobble there from Jamie Nuttall as he hit the loud pedal coming out of the hairpin. Through 200R, Nathan looking towards the outside into Spoon Curve. Is he going to go high, wide, and handsome? No, he's not, but he's going to get the switchback. That's a great move there through the second part of Spoon Curve, but Jamie Nuttall keeps it pinned towards the outside, down the back stretch into up 130R. Nathan gets through. Now it's the braking zone. Is Nathan going to lock up? No, he doesn't, into the Casio triangle, but there's flame splitting from the rear exhaust. And that's the move done for 4th place there from Nathan Maximin, the Team 87. Absolutely brilliant exchange between him and Jamie Nuttall from Crack Racing.
Yeah, absolutely great bit of racing there. Great overtake as well. Wasn't too risky. And as you say, very Alonso-like. Oh, as we've got a car beasting their way around, and fortunately both drivers managed to miss it. So that could have been catastrophic for the race leader. But that is Lucian Ephraim facing them away, and it's slowly but surely getting back underway.
Yeah, the Can-Am Sim Sport car, been an easy one for him. He had trials and tribulations at Portimao on last Friday in the CR1 cars on Race Room Experience. Dan Terry is getting the hustle going. He's trying to close on in on Reska Kyoso from the Track.eu Team VT car. We've also got Strasser and Georgi for the Team Sim Track EU team, or community. So a total of 14 community teams, totaling 28 drivers. We've only got 18 at the moment, but yeah, I think, as you say, these are just an absolute barrel of laughs. And when I do finally get a sim rig and I get ACC, I'm going to try this combination out for myself and have a laugh doing it.
Well, it wouldn't be ACC, would it now, Alex? It'd be Assetto Corsa.
Look, it's been a long 48 hours, had a long day yesterday. Dan Terry, oh, he's done him. Did he?
Great move.
I think, that was great coming out of the Casio triangle. So they crossed the line. Now that was Ephraim. That was Ephraim he got past, because it wasn't Kyoso, because Kyoso's slightly further up.
Oh no, it must have been was it a back marker, was it?
That was Ephraim. Yeah, that was Ephraim that he got through. Yeah, sorry about that. But now, Mateus Bogus. He went for it. He went for it, and glad that he's gone in.
Yeah, gone into the pits. Yeah. So yeah, he was really found some pace, Mateus. I was watching that coming down. So yeah, hopefully now he can stretch his legs. Don't know how much fuel he'll have left. So I'd imagine that most people will need to pit fairly soon. But Maximin, I think, has just set the fastest lap of the race, and he has a 103.9. Unbelievable pace, considering the next fastest is a 104.4. That's incredible pace. Then he's just around about half a second faster.
Well, I think Tess was a bit clumsy on the curves there going through Casio. He just literally just yeeted it and tried to. You said he had some pace. I think he just got all crossed up. He just launched it, and Glenady was like trying to get the apex, trying to put it on the racing line, and Mateus just went, right, I'm doing it, Daddy Rick. I'm licking the stamp and sending it, and it nearly went all horribly wrong for him at the same time.
It did. It was very, very close, as you say, to going all wrong.
Two cars off, Gareth. Yeah. Oh, dearie me, they're all falling, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Gareth.
Again.
Come on, Gareth, do better. Come on.
Oh, Gabriel Costas has gone off as well. Oh, dearie me. It's just
that gains Gareth a position, doesn't it? So he lost a position and then immediately gained a position. So, yeah.
It's it's like if one goes off, someone else goes off in sympathy. It's like a domino effect, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that does happen. I think sometimes some drivers are distracted by somebody else going off, and they end up going off themselves. But yeah, need to try and stay focused and concentrate on their braking markers and the apexes.
Yeah, try not to launch them from about a million miles away, like we saw. Glendy now is ahead of Cadillac Crafter for P3. So yeah, the biggest thing now
He's now showing P4.
Yeah, so they've swapped. Oh, Cadillac's getting the old. He's getting the old rear axle of that car very, very wide indeed. Now they go through 130R into the braking zone for Casio. Neither driver lock up, but Glendy had a bit more run of momentum coming out of the final curve. Now into start-finish straight. He's right up the rear wing, pulls the right-hand side, up he goes through into P3 on Cadillac Crafter, who tries to keep it pinned around the outside heading into Snake, but yeah, Glendy was just absolutely precise on that one, wasn't he?
He was. That was a lovely, clean move. And also, I'd like to just point out that his teammate's not far behind either. He's just up 2 positions back now, so he's around about a second up the road. So going to be scoring some great points for the crack team now.
180 points to be more precise, because fifth place last time out scored you 82 points. So Glendy on 98, Jamie on 82. That's 354 points they'd be on in terms of 2 rounds already completed. When this race is done and dusted here at the Grand Prix Karting Variation in Suzuka, but Glendy has pulled away, now on board with Albert Georgi, the Track EU Team Sim car, closing in on Onid Racing's Ben Brown. Ben doing a great job in P6 down the back stretch.
I don't know if he's completed the mandatory pit stop, because Ben was quite a little bit further back earlier on, wasn't he? So we saw him having a few spins. There we go. There you go. He hadn't. So we'll see where he pops out after his mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, and well, I'm not too sure if Mark's Hiccup, who had his hiccup a little bit earlier on, he dropped down a position behind Daniel Lusko from Intel Arc. There's Albert Georgi, the number 3 well in the Team SimTrack.eu car. He's currently running P6. Where's his teammate Julian Strasser at the moment? 13th at the minute. So could be a lower scoring round for that crew. But Mateusz Bogusz, after that send and a half up the inside of Glendy.
Oh, the race leader's in the, sorry to cut across you, race leader's in the pits. So it'll be interesting to see whether if Glendy can get P2 back off him, but I'd imagine not. The pace that he showed when he took the lead was unbelievable.
Yeah, and that looks to be increasing as well. So Mateusz will be.
Oh,
there he is. Oh, dearie me! It's
I think that's Costas and Strasser, I believe that might have been.
Oh, dearie me! So Track.eu Team Sim, not a good one for Julian Strasser there. He finished 10th in the previous race, Portimao. Race room. Gabriel Costas, he's been in the wars tonight, isn't he?
Locking up as well a lot, isn't he? Going into that hairpin there. Yeah. He's closing up though on P2, so that's worth keeping an eye on at the moment. Showing a bit of pace. Look at that, just over 3.5 minutes to go. That's gone extremely quick. Oh, there's a car. I don't know if you spotted that, Alex, but there was a car in the background that really smacked the barrier there. Didn't quite see who it was.
Yeah, accompanied by a big old plume of Formula Student tyre smoke as well. You know what? This is going to be a really good round for Team 87, because the way things are, Nathan Maximin at the front of the field, Dan Terry 8th. Now, folks, where did Crack Racing finish in race round 1?
P1 and P8, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
174 points. So this could really put Team 87 up the ranking heading into the final round. Oh, Gabriel Costas have found the grass again, coming out of the second Degner. Gabriel, just calm it down, lock up into the hairpin.
Look at those tyre marks as well. You can just see how they look up there, babe. Yeah.
It's like a karting track. It is like a karting track. You see so much black mark. You see rubber off to the sides. Gabriel makes his way out of spoon curve and down the back stretch. But Nathan doing a pretty good job. As we're on lap 25, Gabriel makes his way through 130R. So onto lap 26 goes our race leader. So we haven't got that long left to find out who will be our winners for round 2. So last time it was Crack Racing, Team 87 about to, well, just a couple of moments away from taking their first victory. So it'll be two for two here on Sim Racing GP Rivals with Intel. Gareth Ronda, he's done a really good job. He's up to P11. Adam Burke's up to P14. Julian Strasser rounds out the top 15 with Tim Bob, Daniel Hyde and Lucien Ephraim. Well, you have to give him a shout out anyway for still keeping on going right up until the check-in, even though he might be a couple of laps down off the leaders.
Indeed, yeah, I don't, unfortunately... Oh, the gap between P2 and P3 is now under a second. I don't know if he's got enough to try and make a move, but I'm sure, knowing Sendy Glenady, he will make a go of it if he can. But won't be long until the leader is on the final lap.
There he is, picture in picture. So it was defending Glenady last time, and now it's sending Glenady, hopefully. The gap has opened up to 1.3, down 1.4 as they cross the line to go on to what is the 27th and final lap here of round 2 of SGP Rivals with Intel. A big thank you to them for their support of what we are doing here on Sim Racing GP. There is Nathan making his way through into the hairpin, so just around about half the lap to go. Couple of back markers in front, but they won't pose too much of a problem for the Team 87 driver. Over towards Spoon Curve, the deceptive double left-hander onto the back stretch, just 130R, and the Casio triangle remain. Last time out on Race Room Experience at the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve in Portimao, it was Glendy Dionysus that took the victory. This time, in the land of the rising sun at Suzuka, it's Nathan Maximin who wins for Team 87 here on Assetto Corsa. And Mateusz Bogus is going to take his second successive P2 of this championship. Glendy Dionysus is still going to do a pretty good job. Taking it home third, where's Dan Terry at the moment? He is, oh, well,
yeah.
That's still going to be a good score. A good score there for, well, that's going to be 114. Dan Terry is in 8th, that's 60 points, so that's going to put them on 174. Dan Terry makes his way out, so Nathan Maximin takes the win here at round 2 of Sim Racing GP Rivals with Intel, ahead of Mateusz Bogus, Glendy Dionysus for Crack Racing. Cadillac Crafter finishing in 4th, the leading Formula Student driver. Jamie Nuttall doing a great job there, along with his teammates at Crack Racing. That's a great score for them. That is a total, folks. Jamie Nuttall, 82 points. Glendy Dionysus, 98. That is 180 points they have just scored. That puts them on a big old chunk of change, 354 points. So that's Daniel Hyde finishing in 17th place. Lucien Ephraim will bring up the rear of the field. We've got Jamie Nuttall, Albert Georgi, Resko Kyozo, Dan Terry, Ben Brown, and the man that had the big hiccup, Morris Hiccup, rounding out the top 10. Gareth Ronda, Daniel Lusko, Gabriel Costas, Adam Burks, Tim Bob, Daniel Hyde, and Lucien Ephraim rounding out the 18 strong grid, but 2 different winners from 2 different communities. Crack Racing Team 87 now can say that, yeah, we've each won a round of SGP Rivals by Intel. That really rounds out the action here on Assetto Corsa with the Mad Formula Student mod on the Grand Prix karting variation. A very enjoyable one here of Suzuka.
Yeah,
so we went
racing,
from, yeah, we went from the seriousness of the CR1 Sports GT, and then we had the madness of Mad Formula Student. I mean, this is what being part of the sim racing community is all about. It's about having, they do say that variety is the spice of life, and then you throw something that is a complete curveball with the Mad Formula Student car. I think we had so many spins. You were talking about the tyre marks when people were locking up. I think even someone might have done a 360 trying to donut it to get the car pointing in the right way. But 2 different communities, 2 different winners so far. We've still got round 3 to go in what? Crikey, I can't believe that I'm saying this. This is the most compacted series of sim racing I think I've ever been involved with, that we've got the final at Monza, GT3 for one driver, GT4, so we'll have multi-class madness at the Temple of Speed pool. I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah, I like that format. I think it's something a little bit different. I like the fact we've condensed this as well for this Intel Rival series. I think it's an absolutely great format. But yeah, as I predicted, we were going to see lockups. We saw carnage at the start. We also saw some brilliant overtaking moves, and just the fact that it's Suzuka but on a miniaturized level as well, which is this is a great track as we've seen over the years, has had some great racing, some great control from some of the drivers this evening, some not so great from others. We saw launching over curbs, which doesn't always going to end well. We saw lawnmowers as well this evening. So yeah, some absolutely great entertaining, and for those of you that watched it this evening, I hope it introduced you to this great mod, because honestly and truly it's great fun. And on the previous variation as well, there were some great liveries. Somebody had created all the Formula 1 teams for the previous model as well, and I'm sure somebody will do the same here too, so can have some great fun with this mod.
Yeah, but big question remains, folks. Who will be the inaugural Sim Racing GP Rivals with Intel champions? Join us this Friday, the 29th of September, when we head to, I think, the platform that I love to commentate on the most. I think you do as well, Paul. It's one we both love, and so does a lot of the sim racing community. It's Assetto Corsa Competizione. The season finale, it's a GT3, GT4 multi-class, so one driver from each community has to go in a GT3 car. The other one has to go in a GT4 car. And at the end of it all, someone is going to get the backing of Intel, a £500 prize. People are going to get Amazon vouchers or Steam vouchers to around the value of about £100. We have to say a big thank you to Intel for their support, Intel UK. We have to say a big thank you to the man that does a lot of the organisation behind this, a few of the guys behind the scenes. We have to say a big thank you to Dan Terry, Adam Ely, amongst others. Big thank you to Mike Yao and SimSport Solutions for providing the broadcast tonight. So join us here live, SGP_racing. Don't forget to follow us on social media at SimRacingGP on Twitter. And don't forget to use the hashtag IntelRivals. We'll see you Friday night as we find out who will be our Sim Racing GP Rivals Intel inaugural champions. Until then, see you later.
Here we go.